All right. So it's 24 hours. It's 24 hours in a day.
Right.
How important is your personal alone time to your magnified time for everyone else?
None. It's not important at all. That's a good question though. Real talk. That's a fantastic question. I'm gonna tell you why I said none. What's more important is my spiritual practice that keeps me in the overflow, right? If you don't have a good spiritual practice, you're going to be dead in the water. It don't matter what the spiritual practice is. It could be Islam, it could be Christianity, it could be incense, full moon rituals, it could be prayer, meditation. You need something that's a good spiritual practice for you. You know what I'm saying? But as far as time, and me taking time for myself, if you're going to be successful, you absolutely need to be sucking in almost every area of your life that you're not successful in. There is no balance. And I can't get people to understand that right now.
Because that kind of goes against what people teach. Yeah.
Those people teaching you make $40,000 a year. Like right now, my 13-year-old, my 9-year-old, and my 4-year-old are without their daddy because I'm excelling in this chair. You know what I'm saying? So every time you see me on camera, every time you see me in my bag, in my gift, I am absolutely failing with my kids. And if I'm winning with my kids, I ain't on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't, no matter where it's at, I'm absolutely 100% always failing in somewhere that I'm not winning at. There is no balance in success. So what you do is you send kids, which is what I do. Here, y'all get in this unbalanced life. I gotta learn Hebrew, you learn Hebrew. I gotta learn Mandarin, you learn Mandarin. I gotta learn Python, you learn Python. That's what I do to my kids. So we here, y'all wanna eat and play games, you wanna eat every day? Well, fine, you learn what your daddy learned. You can decide what you wanna do with it in your 20s. But right now, your job is to spend all my money, and my job is to make sure that you don't have to beg a man for a job. That's how we exchange. That's how we exchange. My job is to make sure you ain't got to beg anybody for a job. Your job is to spend all your daddy money. And for sure, there's no balance, bro. Anybody preaching to you balance is preaching to you 6 figures. As a matter of fact, I'll push that further. There's no such thing as debt-free. No such thing as debt-free. If you're trying to be debt-free, you for sure a employee 5-figure, 6-figure person. If you want to be wealthy, you need a lot of debt. Just good debt that other people are paying for. It's prosperity got one voice, man. You know what I'm saying? Prosperity got one voice. Everybody doing something, saying the same thing. The languages just changed, but they saying the same thing. Saying the same thing for sure.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So, let me ask you this. So when it
Get down or lay down. Any secret.
So you even take that approach with your family. You know, everybody talks about like the you're keeping your circle tight and whatnot, but they alleviate the family. I like when you said, if I have to learn Hebrew, you have to learn Hebrew. So how important is it to incorporate your family into your success?
It is extremely important because you don't want to. So this is where your ancestors try to tell you, don't gain the world and lose yourself, right? So you don't want to be known as a good leader, but you're a terrible father. You're a terrible cousin. You don't want to do that because, and I'm going to tell you, so there's a bunch of spiritual reasons why you don't want to do it. There's a bunch of spiritual reasons why you don't want to do it. Here's a real reason why you don't want to do it. Reputation. This is 48 laws of power. This is 48 laws of power. Reputation is all you have. You got to guard it with all costs. And the last thing you want is for one of your children to come up and tell the world what you are not. It's one of the worst things you can do. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody in the family. And I'm looking at it. I won't name names. There's some celebrities going through something similar right now, and I just can't imagine being their children right now. Okay, let me. I'm gonna gently try to handle this. Will and Jada, I'm gonna gently try to handle this. Okay. First, I can't imagine being their children. I can't. leaving out opinions and whatever, Jada, whatever will. Here's what hurts my feelings about this situation. Because it ties into the question. Will Smith built his brand on not slapping people at the Grammys. Respectfully, the Smith clan is not rich because of Jada's brand. Respectfully. That's not a diss. I don't mean that as a diss. But there would be no red table talk without Big Willie. We just gonna have to keep it real. Alright? If it would be a red table talk, it'd be just a red table. It wouldn't be a daytime Emmy nominated red table talk. Because you ate off the family brand and you are doing cognitive behavioral therapy as a family for families. So we're going to have to just call a spade a spade. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you, here are the historicities, the actual people, depiction of people and events. You don't get to argue that. History, you can argue that. Hitler was a good person. All right, that's history. You know, you're an a-hole for saying that, but nevertheless, you get to say that with history. Historicity, Hitler killed a whole lot of people. You know, Jada will, at the same event, this is why I feel bad for the kids. I'm addressing the question, how important it is to involve family into it. Yet, the day after Will did his apology, and Jada said happy birthday to somebody or something about Women's Day, one post, and then posted Red Table Talk, and has pretty much continued to post at some level of frequency. No post has addressed the situation. Just recently she addressed the situation, and she says, I hope those two men can heal. No problem. Jada then goes, before that, has an entanglement and brings her husband to her platform to ease the blowout. So family business can stay together. Will must now go on an apology tour. And no one can go to him and do the same thing that he got to, or had to do, depending on your debate, for Jada. And you never want to be in that situation. You never want to be in a situation to where, and I try to do that as respectfully as possible. I really did, right? I didn't take a side. You never want to be in a situation to where you have an older child who's not from Jada's home. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. And then the other two are still must do red table talks while their dad is in clinics. And when he finally speaks again, it will be on an apology tour. And to my knowledge, I still don't think there was ever a real apology issued about the entanglement with I still don't think it was an apology issue. And I'm not telling you that she needed to issue an apology, but there's another young man whose life is jacked up. You understand what I'm saying? So the woman don't have to deal with the apology to it. That may be a double standard in society, but will. And all I'm saying is, since those kids aren't involved in every level that is appropriate, man, what a terrible situation to be. So
if I say these two words to you, can you tell me what you believe the difference are in these two words? Seclusion. Well, I'm going to say three words: seclusion, isolation, and separation.
Separation is trash. That's false. Isolation. Seclusion is the most positive word there. Isolation. There's nothing good going to come from isolation. It can't. This universe has laws, and you can be born in isolation or from isolation. You're going to have a hard time dying in isolation, because if you believe, depending on what you believe in, if you don't believe in a higher power, you will still die with nature. Nature will decompose your body and put you back into the ground in which you come. If you believe in a higher power, you're going to die and your soul will go somewhere. So even that is still not isolation. The universe doesn't bless anything in isolation. It just is what it is. If you're trying to be isolated or withdraw, there will always be a negative harvest that will follow you from that. Seclusion, well, sometimes you need to seclude. Like, after all this is done, I'm going to have to go into seclusion and recharge, so I am able tomorrow to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Thank God that my heart is secluded from my brain, because if they were in the same spot, or I guess you say separate from that one, but if they were in the same spot, they would do two different things wrong. Separation is an illusion. In truth, we're all one. There is no race. There is no gender. Because as a man, I was like, the baby has genitals, the clitoris becomes a penis, or the penis becomes a clitoris. So there's no gender, until, as we see it. What we've done is we've taken this infinity that we can't explain, and then we made these labels so we can explain the unexplainable. And the idea, and wealthy people understand this, what I'm saying. The idea of separation doesn't make sense. And I'll tell you why. Because I can't be rich separated. Because every blessing I've ever received on planet Earth came from somebody else's pocket.
Yep. Pretty much.
If God is going to work a miracle today in your life, it will come from some person.
Yeah, come through.
Some person going to come through, and from their pockets thou shalt be blessed. Well, separation is an illusion. It's I said trash. I still mean it, but it's an illusion. I don't know where you got that question, but that's one hell of a question.
That's what I do.
That's what you do.
I got a podcast, Great Conversation podcast.
Oh, well, then let me give you plenty of episodes.
Let me think of another one.
Yeah, take your time. I hate you. Yes.
So the reason I even asked that question is because a lot of people on the success journey, they always talking about separating themselves from others. Separating themselves, going into seclusion. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone can go with you. It's like no matter what type of positive thing you go into, the first thing is separation, cut, sever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's difficult, because there's a lot of truth in that. But in fact, there's all truth in that. But we got to be careful, because and while it sounds contradictory, it's not contradictory to what I said. We're talking about the motive. So what you're right. So when we get to the semantical or the heart of it, if your motive is to separate, there will always be a negative harvest with that. If your motive is to get better, and right now, y'all energy is not trying to improve your lives. Mine is, I will depart from you, separate from you, do what I got to do, march up the mountain, get my legs strong enough, and I will come back down and get you should you want to go. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because everybody can't go with you, because everybody's legs ain't as long as yours. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't walk the same stride as you, and every seed isn't growing at the same time. So I can't blame a family member for not getting it when it took so many years for me to get it. Now that I get it, I want you to get it. I had to go through my process. You got to go through your process. And if I keep that in mind with that motive, then what happens is this is all good. If I take that motive like fall back game strong, I'm not going to be blessed. Sure, I'll get it, but I'm going to get it with limited fashion. anything that you get that you have to protect, that tells you how you got it. It's called principle of multiplication. Well, we're talking principle of multiplication. If you plant corn, you're going to get back an ear of corn. Plant an apple tree, you're going to get back a tree of apples, right? One seed gives you back 1,000. That's the whole universe. You put a semen in a woman, you're going to get back a child, right? The whole universe is reap, sow, seed, whatever you get back, you get it back in multiplication. So what I'm saying is if you gather yourself on a level and you try to have an incorrect motive, that will come back and you will always have to protect it. If this was spiritual talk, my grandmother who sleep with her ancestors, she would say, baby, the devil got blessings too, is what she would say. You know what I'm saying? God and the devil got blessings. When God gives you a blessing, you don't have to protect it. It comes with peace. When the devil gives you a blessing, you always got to protect it. You never have peace. Is what my grandmother would say. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying the same thing, just scientific.
Yeah, you are. You are saying the same thing. You're saying, I hear you saying it's all about your intention on the separation. You know what I'm saying? Or the departure. Because if you're separating to never return, that's very selfish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And this universe rewards things being selfish with selfish rewards.
Yes.
It just is it. You can find it. You can go to if a tree has been selfish and it's not doing what it's supposed to do, it will wither and fade away. The Bible will say, if you're not cold, if you're not hot, if you're lukewarm, I'm gonna cut you down. Right? It don't people are saying the same thing. We just, we go to war over what source it came from. You know what I mean? We like that.
That's the crazy part. Because instead of getting the message, you concerned about who the messenger is.
Exactly. Like I know a lot of Christians that don't like the law of attraction, but believe in reap what you sow. It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
And so your intention, because the law of attraction says that everything is in vibration, and so you're always going to get back your equivalent vibration, of course, in multiplication. Well, reap what you sow says every seed has a harvest. But what's missing there is your intentions become how that harvest will be shaped back out the ground when you get it back.
Correct.
You're saying the same thing.
Because if you just plant it without tending to it, it can still grow.
It can still grow, but it ain't gonna grow. You got 2 apples instead of 22. You know what I'm saying? And again, man, this is why I'm good at the Quran and the Bible and the Torah, because it's my job to be intellectual on these circles. And the New Testament, half brother of Jesus, to be respectable for people who may believe in anything else, is he tries to explain it. He says, James chapter 4 says, you have not because you ask not. But even when you do ask, you ask with incorrect motives. So I'm still not giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like the God still don't give it to you. And that's what I'm talking about. That just because you go in front of your mirror, you write down your affirmations. You can affirm all you want to. If you don't believe them, they're not coming in. You know what I'm saying? They're not coming in because your dominant thoughts are saying, A, don't give this to me, but I'm gonna say it out loud. And you see it at the time. This is why a lot of church people are poor. Because they believe in God. They believe in God, but they don't believe God can do something for them.
I almost got up and ran around. No, because that's real. That's real. Because what I hear you saying is, okay, my intention will fuel my faith. You know what I'm saying? And then my faith will jumpstart my motive.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And then my motive will get me to my action. My action will get me to my reward. Absolutely.
And all that could be summed up in character. And this is why folk with bad character always got to protect whatever they got. That's universal standard, man. That's like people who disagree with us right now are going to have a hard time disagreeing with that, because nothing in here is an opinion. We're just talking as them. In the observable universe, this is how this works. Mm-hmm. And for that to be disagreed upon, well, you just got another issue.
That's a choice.
That's a choice. Yeah.
At that point, that's a choice.
That ain't got nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, over
Indeed.
For sure. You got some good podcast episode right now.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm